Hello, Gold Derbyites. Welcome to another episode of Awards Magnet. I'm Deputy Editor Ethan Alter, and I'm here with our Editor-in-Chief, Deborah Birnbaum, and Senior Editor, Mia McNeese. Welcome!
Thanks for having us.
We're just coming off of Labor Day weekend, which traditionally marks the end of summer, but it also marks the beginning of the Fall Film Festival Awards season. And so we just had Venice started last Wednesday, Telluride started on Friday. Deborah, you were in Telluride. We're going to hear all about it. How do you feel? Did you survive the weekend?
I am dehydrated. I am tired, but I've got an awards high. I'm very excited. I saw a lot of great films, and I'm excited to talk about them.
Excellent. And Mia, you've been following along with Venice from afar, which is great. So we're going to get your take on what's been going down at that festival. And then look ahead to Toronto, which starts this week. And I'll be in Toronto over the next week, seeing all the films that played at previous festivals and also stuff that's premiering for the first time. So it'll be an exciting week for film nerds and film lovers and awards lovers. But before we jump into all the Fall Film Festival stuff, just a quick update on some of the headlines that are coming up. We're approaching, obviously, the start of the fall season, and the Fall Film Festivals are a big part of that. But we also have a fall movie preview that Mia put together that has some of the films we'll be talking about, but also other films like One Battle After Another, which is the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie that's actually skipping all the fall film festivals. So, and Mia, that's an interesting strategy on that film's part. What do you think that says about what that film might be?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I'm seeing it next week. Obviously, with this director and with this cast, they're kind of taking a different approach and, as you said, skipping the festivals. But I think that they have so much behind them and just the trailer itself looks really riveting. So I'm really excited to see this one. And I think that it might work for them to kind of skip the festival scene and go their own way.
It makes a lot of sense. Like, look, obviously there's a lot of excitement coming out of the fall festivals. We saw a lot of great films at Telluride, and we hear a lot of great buzz coming out of Venice. And Ethan, I know you're excited for a lot of things you're going to see at TIFF, but it takes a lot to make the distance to go from it's 6 months from now until March. So I think that there's a strategy in the idea of like, okay, you kind of let the fall festival films burn out, and then you kind of come up at the end and say, all right, here we are with some fresh things to talk about, and we've got some new stories. So there are other films that are coming out later this year too that aren't playing the festivals that are hoping they'll still be in the conversation.
Well, Mia, I know last week you and I talked about briefly Avatar: Fire and Ash, because our colleague Marcus James Dixon and I are both huge Avatar fans, and we're both expecting to see that in the Best Picture race as well. So again, something to look forward to beyond the prestige festival movies is Avatar: Fire and Ash. So yeah, definitely check out Mia's great fall movie preview. We also have a fall TV preview because this week the fall TV season kind of soft launches. We'll see more premieres after the Emmys on the September 14th. But this week brings the premiere of Peacock's The Paper, which is the long-awaited Office spinoff that they're dropping all in one binge on September 4th. I did some cast and creator interviews, so you can check those out as well. Those will be live. There's also a spinoff of NCIS, Tony and Ziva, on Paramount Plus that's premiering on September 4th. And next week brings the big HBO limited series Task, which is the latest production from Mayor of Easttown creator. So that's an early awards contender for sure. And then Only Murders in the Building returns September 9th for season 5. And I've had a chance to see some of the episodes, and no spoilers, but it's a good season. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays with Emmy voters for the next cycle. And there's other great stuff on the horizon too. I know, Deborah, you're looking forward to The Girlfriend on Prime Video with Robin Wright. So that's one coming down the pike.
Definitely. She's a great director. It was based on a great book that I really love so much, and it's lovely seeing her face off. So I'm excited for everyone to see that one. It's a great limited series.
So yeah, so check out our fall TV preview. There's also a fall theater preview for some of the big Broadway productions coming your way with people like Keanu Reeves in Waiting for Godot and Leah Michele in Chess. The rarely revived Chess will be back on Broadway. So all that great content's on Gold Derby for you to check out. And speaking of TV, reminder that we are coming up even as the Fall Film Festival season launches. We are still at Emmy season. The Creative Arts Emmys are September 7th, and then September 14th bring the Primetime Emmys. So make sure to head over to our prediction center, see what's leading on the leaderboards. Feel free to update your predictions and the change or change them up depending on how you feel going into the Emmys. And always send us your comments, questions, voicemails to awardsmagnet@goldderby.com. And soon we'll be done with Emmy season and on to Oscar season full time. But we still have We see some of that.
I know this is our really busy season, so lots going on for us for sure.
Well, that's that's our top line. Let's jump into what everyone wants to hear about, which is Telluride. Okay, Deborah, you were there from Friday to Monday night. Give us your some of your big takeaways from the festival. What are some big takeaways you can say about big picture?
It was really great. I mean, I think like the festival played really well. It's always, Julie Hunsinger, who, is the creative director and picks all the films. She's got amazing taste, and, she has really picked some great films this year. And I think two of the standouts for sure for me, and I think for the festival too, were Hamnet and Sentimental Value. I think if there was like one thing that I love about the festival is wherever you go, you sort of stand, there's a lot of standing around in line. You're standing in line to get coffee. You're standing in line for the gondola ride. You're standing in line to get things, to get into the theater. And it's like, what is the film that everyone's talking about? And this year that film was Hamnet, hands down. It's beautiful. Chloe Zhao is a masterful director. The performances from Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal will blow you away. But I will warn you, bring tissues. It's a crier. I'm a crier. I cry at commercials. I cry at everything. And I sobbed for 2 hours. But I think it's just one of those films that will blow you away. And now it's also, I say this, and I'm also terrified that I've set the bar so high. And now everyone's going to be like, oh God, Deborah, it's not going to live up to the hype. And I've set it all so high. And you've got Rocky Mountain Fever, and it's never going to sustain. But it really is a beautiful film. And the other thing I would say about it too is for those, I love the book. And so for those people that love the book, I went in thinking, oh God, how is this ever going to be a film? And I will just say this too. The book is great, and the book stands on its own. And Maggie O'Farrell, who wrote the book, helped adapt the screenplay too. She wrote it with Chloe Zhao, and the film stands on its own too. And they're two separate, beautiful, wonderful things. So it is the film that came out of the festival with the most buzz, great Rotten Tomatoes score. So we'll see what happens from here. But really, Jessie Buckley looks really well positioned for the Best Actress prize for sure. So that was definitely one of my favorites.
I was very excited to see the reaction to that because I'm a big Chloe Zhao fan. I even stick up for Eternals. Eternals, her Marvel movie. It's it's a controversial device.
You're the one.
I'm that, but no, not all of it works. But I appreciate what she tried to do with that film, and I think but it sounds like this is a true return to form for her, based on the reaction. So I'm excited for that.
It really, really is. It's like every shot is beautiful. She gets great performances out of the actors. Paul Mescal's in it, who can also do no wrong. And so it's just really wonderful. And yeah, everything about it, every time I think about it, it's really something special. And of course, there were other great films that came out of the festival as well. Sentimental Value, another one of my favorites. And I'd obviously had done really well at Cannes too, getting the Grand Prix prize there. Again, another crier. You're going to think, Deborah, all you do is cry when you go to movies. Yes, I cried at this one too. I promise you, there are movies that I laughed at, but this is another crier. But again, really powerful, really well done. Those are probably 1 and 2 for me, and I think a lot of other festival goers as well. But I think, there were other great sort of standout films too. I think the Springsteen film played really well there too. A surprise for me too. I mean, of course, like Jeremy Allen White, everyone knew going into it, he channeled Bruce Springsteen. There are moments where you're like, oh my God, like, wait, who's singing here? Like it's amazing, but it's like, it was just sort of delightful to see Stephen Graham as his father. Like, I don't know that there's room for him in Best Supporting Actor. I think it's probably Jeremy Strong that's going to break through in that category. But if you love Stephen Graham in Adolescence, you're going to love him when he makes his appearance as his father in that too. So I just want to make sure everyone, pays attention to all those like little roles that kind of have a chance to break out as well.
How would you compare the Springsteen doc to last year's Bob Dylan doc? Excuse me, not doc, biopic, which was on its own award season trajectory. Are we looking at it similar? Is it better?
I think it's similar. It's different. I mean, the thing that's hard about this is like you're not going to see this triumphant Bruce Springsteen performance. This is a very specific moment in Bruce Springsteen's life when it's not about the rise and fall or rise again of a rock star. This is about a really dark period of his life when he, for all those Springsteen enthusiasts, when he wrote Nebraska. So it's about when he was dealing with depression, when he was struggling with some hard issues in his life. And so it's really about that. And it's really about, what he was going through in order to write this album and write and produce this album. And his mental struggles. So that's really what the film is about. So if you're going in there expecting to see, I was going to say, if you're going in there expecting to see Born in the USA, you're wrong. Okay, you are going to hear Born in the USA. So you're going to hear that. But you're also going to hear some really, tough conversations. And it's a very emotional, moody, withdrawn Bruce Springsteen. But you get a great performance out of out of the Jeremys. Got 2 Jeremys. And you've got Bruce Springsteen's endorsement. And I think, as Bruce said, like, this is the film that he wanted to see made.
A lot of the feedback that it seems to be coming out of it is this is a movie, just about depression just as much as it is about music. It really is his emotional ride with, the music there, but that's kind of the focus as well.
And as you mentioned, Springsteen was actually in Telluride. So tell us, how close did you get to the boss? Were you?
I got up. That's the thing I love about Telluride. You can get up close and personal. Like, everyone's walking around. Everyone's in like casual clothes. My favorite line was Adam Sandler. He was like, "They wouldn't let me wear shorts, and look at you guys. You're all in hoodies and jeans." So I just love it. I mean, it's like every time you turn around and you realize that like the person standing in line for coffee in front of you is someone incredibly famous. So yeah, Bruce Springsteen came out. He was fully in support of the film. I got up there front row and center, and just he was basically like, forgive me, he was like, I can do this because I don't give a fuck anymore. And he was like, that was basically it. And it was like, I applaud that, and I applaud like that he let this side of himself be shown. So that was pretty incredible. So unfortunately, we missed out on George Clooney's sinus infection. He skipped the festival, but the star power was pretty intense at Telluride this year.
Well, that segues nicely into Jay Kelly, because that sort of had a muted reception at Venice, I think. Would you say, Mia? People liked it, but it seemed like they didn't love it necessarily. So I'm curious how it was received at Telluride based on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it got a warmer reception because I think Telluride is a very specific audience. It's an audience of film lovers, and it's very much a movie about a movie star and about film and about like what it's like to be a movie star. And it's sort of, in a way, I mean, I wonder if it would have played differently if George Clooney were there, because it's almost more about his entourage. Like, it's like, it is a shoo-in for the SAG ensemble because it's got a powerhouse ensemble. I mean, I mentioned Adam Sandler, who's definitely a contender for supporting actor. Of course, it's got Laura Dern because it's a Noah Baumbach movie. So what's a Noah Baumbach movie without Laura Dern? Emily Mortimer co-wrote the screenplay, so she's in it as well. And it's kind of like about how it's very much about George, but it's also Jay Kelly. I shouldn't use those two people interchangeably. But it's very much about being a movie star and what it's like happens to the entourage, and how he treats the people in his life and what the impact is, and him coming to terms with all of that. And so the biggest relationship is with his manager and his long-suffering manager and what that means for him. But so it's sort of interesting. It's very emotional. And as he sort of, of course, goes through Europe as one does. So I think the Telluride crowd kind of had an understanding of it because it is very much about the life of making movies. And don't count out Billy Crudup, because Billy Crudup has a great like scene-stealing turn where, I kid you not, he reads the menu method actor style. And just trust me, that is his clip reel, that is his moment. He breaks into tears talking about calamari. I'll leave it with that. And I just have to give a shout out to Begonia, because if you like Yorgos, you're going to love Begonia. If you like a Yorgos and Emma Stone pairing, this is on the wackier scale of what those two do together. Go into it. You know what it's about. It's, Jesse Plemons plays a conspiracy theorist who thinks that Emma Stone is a tech titan CEO who's an alien here to destroy the Earth. Hilarity ensues. Just have at it.
Right.
So I think, in a certain way that played, I mean, I think it got, the people that love Yorgos and Emma and like love what they do together, are going to love that kind of that journey and where that takes them. So, but I think, Focus definitely has a really strong slate between that and Hamnet for sure.
Yeah, Begonia is based on a South Korean film called Save the Green Planet that I remember seeing when it came back. I think it's 2003, 2004. And it was a wild movie then. So I'm very curious to see how Yorgos puts his...
Oh, it's
his
wild.
Absolutely.
There was lots of screaming and eye covering and squealing from the audience in the theater when I was there, for sure.
Frankenstein seems similar in that too, where there's a lot of sawing of body parts and blood and, gore as well. So there's a little eye covering, I think, in this fall season of upcoming films.
For sure. And it's so funny. We hadn't talked about Ballad of the Small Player, and I did a lot of eye covering that too. It's, Colin Farrell plays a gambler, definitely like on the edge, but there's a lot of scenes of him like gorging on food. And I have to say, I did more eye covering in that scene where he's just like shoving his face with food. And I was like, I did a lot of eye covering in that one too, because I couldn't watch it. He's like shoving the food in his face. And that was a bit too much for me. Delicate little Deborah.
Was there anything that didn't play Telluride that you wish had been there from Venice, or something you were really eager to see?
That's a really good question. Like, I'm really excited to see the Catherine Bigelow film. The reviews are breaking as we're recording this, so I'm really excited. I wish, we had gotten to see that, because I'm, really excited to see that. Obviously, Paul Thomas Anderson, want to see that. I understand the sort of hold it back strategy, but definitely wish I'd gotten to see that. So there are a few things still on my wish list. It's funny, like people were making fun of me for seeing like 5 movies in a day, but I feel like I was an A+ student. Like, I just like, what else can I see? How many more movies can I cram in a day? So I tried to see as much as I could, but I still feel like there's so many more on my list that I want to get a chance to see. Oh, and Smashing Machine. That's probably the biggest one. Smashing Machine's definitely the biggest one because it sounds like, based on the reviews, he gives an incredible performance.
I think that kind of is the takeaway from all of these films coming out is like people seem a little conflicted sometimes on the overall film, but these powerful performances that are coming out, whether it's, Dwayne Johnson in The Smashing Machine or Emma Stone in Begonia or even Adam Sandler and Jay Kelly, like it's really these performances that are kind of taking center stage when sometimes the overall, reviews of the film may be a little bit mixed. Everyone seems to be in agreement that Jacob Elordi, was great. And, these people are really delivering amazing performances that are worth seeing.
I think that's a really good point, because I think what's starting to take shape for me in my mind are what the acting races are going to be, and the Best Picture race is still very much a question mark. I mean, there are a couple, like the ones I mentioned at the top, that I feel like are secure, but I think you're seeing some real acting performances that you can really see the Academy getting behind.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mia, you were all over the Smashing Machine reactions out of Venice, and to your point, yeah, the people were really talking about Dwayne Johnson. What were some of the other things that people highlighted in that film that might break out? What's your sense of what around him might be in play?
Yeah, I mean, I think the overall was just what a powerful, amazing performance that he gives, and just like nothing they've ever seen from him before. And not only the physicality of it, which everyone noted was amazing to see, and just how different he looks, but actually the emotional depths that he goes to, in dealing with this fighter who is trying to find his way to success, but also dealing with an opioid addiction, and that kind of inner turmoil. And then also his relationship with his girlfriend, played by Emily Blunt, who I think, some people are pointing out the only thing they wish is that she had more on-screen time, because she was so great in it as well, but didn't get quite as enough, of her as they would have liked to see, because she is such a great actress.
Yeah, it's almost like the Amy Adams and the fighter problem, right? Like they can be great, and you have these great actors doing these great parts, but they don't get enough to do because the focus is always on the guy in the ring, and so yeah, you
Exactly.
You want more of that for sure. Well, one really interesting Venice case study was After the Hunt. I definitely want to get into that because, again, Mia, you were all over that story. How that it premiered. It was a big premiere. Julia Roberts, Luca Guadagnino, and the reaction was not great. I think it's safe to say. So walk us through what the reaction was and what it means for the film's future on the award circuit.
Yeah, it was a really mixed reaction, which I think people were a little, surprised going in, because we did have big high hopes for it. And then, at the press conference, there was a question brought up about the Me Too movement and how it applied to the film. So that kind of drama and controversy became the focus for a little while. So I'm sure, they want to get the attention back to the film and the performances. I mean, you still have Julia Roberts that could be in the mix for a Best Actress, but the film is not, I don't think, quite getting the reception. I think it got a little bit of a kind of slow start coming out of the gates, let's just say, at the festivals.
Right. And you and I will get the chance to see it in New York. Sorry, Deborah, because it's going to be premiering there. It's opening night. So yeah, no, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, I think it's going to be a really big question, because I think Julia Roberts is really being positioned as one of the Best Actress contenders. So I think it'll be curious to see where that campaign goes from here.
Yeah, no, again, then that'll be the interesting reaction at the New York Film Festival. It's the opening night. The opening night of the New York Film Festival can sometimes go either way. Nickel Boys last year was the opening night film, and that wound up being in the Best Picture race. So, again, maybe this is their starting being the underdog status will help After the Hunt when it plays for New York press versus elsewhere.
For sure. I mean, I think, like I said at the top, like it's often hard just as it's hard to sustain the high of a, really strong festival opening, maybe you can sort of recover. And we've seen some examples of that. So maybe After the Hunt will be one of those, but we'll be curious to see how it plays when it gets back to a larger audience.
House of Dynamite is reviews are breaking as we're talking. That's also coming to New York, so you and I will have to get a chance to see that here. So, any other Venice titles that are still to come this week that people should be on the lookout for?
I mean, there's still much to come. I did want to say too, I think the Springsteen film will get a very warm reception at the New York Film Festival.
For sure. That's playing to a home crowd. Definitely.
So yeah, I think that will definitely be a big one there. And I'm curious if the conversation even gets louder once that premieres in New York Film Festival.
I think my only other note about the Springsteen film is like as strong as the performances are, the female parts are definitely underwritten, and I haven't really seen that covered a lot. And I think as it continues to campaign, I'm curious to see how much that comes up. I feel like, but again, like not to take anything away because the Jeremys, I don't want to lump them together, but Jeremy White, Jeremy Strong, again, like Jeremy Strong never disappoints. He's such a powerful actor, and again, it's such a moving portrait of the artist at a certain painful point in his life. I don't want to take anything away from it, but curious to see how that plays out.
And also the biopic thing is always can sometimes work against the film because biopics are very conventional by their nature, and so sometimes the reaction is, oh, this is sort of paint by numbers. It sounds like this tries to go deeper than most do, but the biopic thing is always in the sort of back of the head, like is this really as gripping because it's so they can be so formulaic.
Right. And I think messaging would be really important so people understand what they're getting when they go into it, just knowing what to expect for sure.
Right. Absolutely. Well,
what are you looking forward to seeing at TIFF?
I was just about to say, yeah, Toronto's coming up, starts on Thursday night, and I'm going to get a chance to see, hopefully, some of the stuff we've already been talking about. Smashing Machine is going to be there for its next step.
I'm so jealous.
Dwayne seems to be handling his Oscar march very, very well. So I think I have a feeling his Toronto rollout will be equally well handled. He's debuting a new look. He's slimmed down a little bit. He's definitely in serious actor mode. So we'll see how that continues at TIFF. Frankenstein will be there as well, so I'm excited to see that. And then among new titles, actually, it's interesting. Smashing Machine, we have Dwayne Johnson as a fighter. Sydney Sweeney is going to be doing her own smashing in Christie, which is she plays a real life female boxer from West Virginia. It's an 80s set period piece. As of now, the movie doesn't have a distributor, but if Sydney Sweeney's performance really pops, you could see her entering the potentially the Oscar race as well. And then you'll have to organize like some matches where they like tag team opposite other real life wrestlers and boxers, and just doing a whole new version of an Oscar campaign.
We can already write the headlines for the best picture matchup. There's going to be so many.
Right, exactly.
In the ring, we'll be ready. Yeah,
exactly.
With all the puns. Yeah.
But I think there's certainly a lot of interest in that film. I mean, Sydney Sweeney has been talking a lot about how she transformed herself to play that part. She's obviously been in the news all the time for lots of things, not just her movies.
What's been going on? I haven't noticed anything.
I know, hard to say, right? What has Sydney Sweeney been up to? So we know that'll be closely watched. And then another big premiere I'm really looking forward to, Wake Up Dead Man, which is the third Knives Out film. I got to see the Glass Onion premiere at Toronto a few years ago, and they always put on a great show with Benoit Blanc and Daniel Craig and all the co-stars. So there's some great people in this. Josh O'Connor's in it. Josh Brolin's in it. The two Joshes to go with the two Jeremys. So we're double up on everything. But yeah, I'm really excited. So I'm really excited to see Knives Out, and this is the last in their trilogy. So I'll be curious to see if Rian Johnson decides to continue it at Netflix, continue it elsewhere, if he takes a break from Knives Out and goes off and makes something else again. But it's been a really good trilogy. It's one of my favorite franchises around right now. So I'm hoping this one finishes strong for sure. That's a good one. Oh, Roofman is another world premiere there. This is the Channing Tatum film from writer-director Derek Cianfrance. I got to see an early clip reel at CinemaCon back in April, and it looks like there's a lot going on in this movie. So I'll be very curious to see how it all plays in context. There's a little comedy, a little drama. He plays a real life robber who was known for breaking into stores via the roof, hence the name Roofman. And then a lot of the movie is him hiding out in Toys R Us to avoid the cops. And and Peter Dinklage manages that Toys R Us. So again, yeah, it looks like a wide variety of tones going on in that movie. But if it all works, if it all comes together, it could be an Oscar vehicle for Channing Tatum, who I think has really come a long way as an actor, and he's admitted that as well. Like you see where he started in the Step Up movies to now, and he's really grown as a performer. So I'm excited to see how he's pushed in this one.
And then you have Keanu Reeves as an angel. I mean, who doesn't want to see that? In Good Fortune, we need a little break, right? Of all these films we're crying in, why not go? Yeah, get a little break and see Good Fortune.
Right, exactly. I think we need to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
No, Toronto's really good for that. They program like the big prestige pictures, but they also have a lot of commercial fare. Another one I'm really excited for is the as a theater nerd is this documentary You Had to Be There, which is about a legendary 1970s production of Godspell in Toronto that had basically a murderer's row of talent. You had Martin Short, Gilda Radner, Victor Garber, Eugene Levy. Before they were anyone, before they were famous, they were in this production of Godspell, and they always thought it's been talked about a lot, but to really do a deep dive into that production is something I'm really looking forward to. So even if it doesn't play, and if any of them show up afterwards at the Q&A and like sing a song from Godspell, we'll be
oh my God,
get a nerd heaven.
So jealous, so jealous. All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Early predictions for People's Choice Award at TIFF.
Ooh, let's see. I feel like it could be Roofman, possibly. I just looking at the again, if that movie works, there's a lot of love for Channing Tatum. There's a lot of love for that kind of mixture of family drama and comedy. I could see that one maybe being the one that emerges. And they always like to go slightly commercial. Last year's was Life of Chuck, which was which is sort of an offbeat choice, I think, and people weren't necessarily expecting that. So I could see maybe Roofman being the show. And then the other one, Rental Family, which is Brendan Fraser's latest film, which again looks like a really interesting departure for him and something unexpected. So yeah, that could also pop as well.
And I think having the world premiere there as well is the John Candy I Like Me doc, which looks really great. Colin Hanks is behind it. I think that will get a lot of attention as well. That one seems to be, from people that have seen it already think it's great.
Although it sounds like Hamlet is also really one to beat. If people are willing to cry and like go for that kind of movie, Hamlet might be tough. They'll be crying while they hand it the People's Choice Award.
The People's Tears Award. I know. I feel like I've set it up badly. I know. It's just. I'm not doing it any favors, but it's really. I swear it's beautiful. I swear it's worth it. I know. But that's what makes this fun. It's you've got to. We'll have a range of things for sure. And then of course, like there's a lot of stuff we still haven't seen yet. Like a lot of big. Again, you mentioned Avatar, and of course, it's still the second Wicked film, which I feel like is such a big question mark for everybody. Really excited about it. Really excited to see it. But you got to save a spot in the top 10 for it for sure.
Yeah, Marty Supreme as well. That could be a really good one that, is not at any festivals and is not coming out till later, but probably gonna have some great performances.
There's always that potential for that late, that late November, late December push for a movie that, especially with one like Wicked, which had a great track record last year. So it only makes sense. You've got to hold space for it for Wicked for good this year for sure.
I know. I was laughing because I started doing my Oscar predictions last night. I was like, okay, I came in from Telluride. I saw everything. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen anything. I feel like I saw like 10, 12 films and I still haven't made a dent in everything that I need to see. So
we really have to pace ourselves. Yeah.
I know. I still have a lot more homework to do. A lot more to come.
Right. Exactly. Oh, and on the international front, we should touch on some of the Cannes film. I know you saw the Jafar Panahi new film. It was just an accident.
Oh my God, so powerful. It was really an incredible moment. And I would say again, okay, back to the crying, but he cried too, so that counts, right? It was his first time in the U.S. He was there to receive a tribute. The director Jafar Panahi. It's just a really powerful story about minor traffic accident. Things spiral from there after things happen, but he opened the tribute by asking us to sing happy birthday to his script consultant who was still in jail. And he kind of just actually asked the audience to just say happy birthday. But when he turned his phone camera around, the audience started singing happy birthday. And it just sort of was this great, powerful moment, having a whole audience sing. And he just kind of, left the stage overcome with emotion. So that was definitely a moment that's going to stick with me. But obviously that was the Palme d'Or winner at Cannes. So, given the way the Academy has this really strong international voting body base, you have to save a spot in the top 10, definitely, for that film, for sure. So I think that obviously that's a really strong contender. And another film I just want to shout out, too, that I saw at Telluride, La Grazia, the Paolo Sorrentino film. Went into it not knowing what to expect, and it's a really touching, beautiful film. So again, another something else I would sort of just put on everyone's radar for sure.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the Palme d'Or works in, it was just Accent's favorite, but based on last year, Honora went from the Palme d'Or to the Best Picture. It goes back to Parasite, Palme d'Or to the Best Picture. And they all share a same distributor, which is Neon.
Exactly. And Neon knows how to run a campaign. So Neon absolutely knows what they're doing. Neon has a really strong slate this year. So I would definitely make sure you pay attention to. It was just an accident.
One on the animated side, because I always like seeing the animated race. There's a film premiering at or not world premiere, but having its North American premiere at TIFF, Scarlet, from a Japanese animation director whose work I've really liked. So I'm hoping that gets into the animation race. It also, Deborah, I know you flagged this, but there's so many stories based on Hamlet this season, between Hamnet,
Yes.
there's a Riz Ahmed Hamlet, and this one is also
There's
based
King
on
Hamlet. Exactly. I'm on the Hamlet beat, just saying.
So it feels like
It was I will say it was one of my favorite moments at Telluride. I sat there like a little kid on the lawn listening to Oscar Isaac, Riz Ahmed, Andrew Scott. Oh my God. And Ethan Hawke all talk about their experiences playing Hamlet. And that was just really fun. Like, again, went in Telluride. So I had all the Hamlets in front of me talking about that. That was so I have to work on that story. It's on my very long list of stories that I need to write at a Telluride. But that was pretty incredible too. So, it's one of those stories you just never get tired of hearing it and figuring out new ways to tell it. It worked for Lion King.
Right. Hey, there you go. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just use different animals for it, or
Exactly.
or different countries and in different places. Yeah, no, absolutely.
So how does it end? Does it have a good ending? How does that one end?
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, we've got to put it like a spoiler alert on it just to make sure.
Exactly.
But we'll see if the animated version, how that one does, if that joins and certainly it's sort of been an anemic year for animated features. So I'm hoping Scarlett delivers a great version of Hamlet and also a possible Oscar contender. So
isn't that so funny how it happens after we had such a strong animated year last year with all these great films, and now it's just interesting how that always turns around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's K-pop Demon Hunters to lose right now. It certainly feels like
exactly.
It has the momentum. It has the songs. Yeah.
That is a sentence I didn't think we'd be saying. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Do we have a meeting where we do not talk about K-pop Demon Hunters?
Yeah.
We just keep joking. We're going to put it in every headline.
Right. Well, Netflix is being very smart. They are bringing the cast of K-pop Demon Hunters to Toronto for a special event, apparently. So they know they're going to tour this and make sure that's in the conversation in addition to all their other awards fair, because they know that people love that music, love the performers. So yeah, no, they know what they have. Excellent. Well, this is just the beginning to the Fall Film Festival season. There's a lot more to come, a lot of road ahead, a lot of movies to see. So we need to all rest up and be ready for that. Mia, it's going to be exciting to have you out here in New York for the New York Film Festival.
Good luck at TIFF.
Thank you very much. Yes, and we'll be sure to report back from all the cool things you get to experience and see on the ground. And keep following along on goldderby.com for all our great stories. And check back here for the next edition of Awards Magnet. Thanks for listening to Awards Magnet, Gold Derby podcast. Like what you heard? Leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Awards Magnet is produced by Andrew Merrill. Our logo is designed by Chelsea Sakura. Please like and subscribe to stay on top of all the awards news, and email us at awardsmagnet@goldderby.com.